I have played roughly 14 to 16 hours of Brown Dust 2 over the course of the last 4 days. I have invested so much time into this because I have been having that much fun in it. This is one of the most fun games that I have played in a little while now. This game does not feel like a gacha game at all. This feels like a full-fledged JRPG from decades ago. It looks like it. It plays like it. I cannot express how much of a nostalgic trip this game has been. This game allows you to have full, direct control of your character. You can freely run around a plethora of different towns with a surplus of different unique aesthetics. Like, case in point, this beautiful old English style castle town, this broken down zombie infested old village, this rustic kind of dirty old mining town. And the most interesting part of all of this is that they're all based on separate chapters. Before we jump into this video though, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. You guys allow for me to continue to push out regular videos like this every single day, and I cannot express how much I deeply appreciate your guys' support. Also, if you have a moment, consider following me over on Twitch, where I stream every single weekend, most of the time. There are, at present, as of recording this video, 4 different story packs, 1 character pack, 3 special packs, and a tutorial pack. These are all kind of like Nintendo cartridges. The intro kind of has you playing, I think it was a Super Nintendo, and you're transported into these various different worlds. Each world has its own theme. Each world has its own title. Knight of Blood, Lapis Witch, Mist Man, I know, creative. And with their own theme, they are accompanied by their own unique characters. Characters that are story specific. So you're introduced to them in that respective pack, and then at times they transition over to the new packs with you. Now, each pack, each story pack, I actually haven't done the character pack yet. Each story pack has its own unique aesthetic. The Lapis Witch, for example, takes place in this kind of old mining town. It featured Sherazade as one of the main characters that I obtained, by the way, and I'd like to talk about briefly. So, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 5-star characters thus far. I actually have twice that many 4-star characters. The 5-star characters I've obtained were actually given to me as part of the respective story packs. So the first chapter featured Lathel and Eustia. Now, I obtained Eustia from my guaranteed pull, my guaranteed 5-star at the beginning of the game, but they allow for you to infinitely re-roll. So I was tempted to get her, but I was curious what else I could get. So I kept rolling, re-rolling until I got Celia. She just looked so much more visually appealing to me, and she was a mage. So I opted for her because I thought she would be a higher base DPS. So I was glad I chose her, because then immediately after beginning, I got Lathel, which is a 5-star melee character with a fire element, and then I got Eustia, a 5-star character with a light element. Every chapter has its own central character, which is a 5-star character, and you are given that 5-star character once you complete the respective chapter. So you can have a full cast, a full team of 5-star characters with minimal effort. Now, there might be better 5-star characters out there, but these 5-star characters are still easy to obtain and powerful in their own right. Now, characters are absolutely gorgeous. Like, these are some of the best looking characters I've seen in a while. There are a number of ways you can go about upgrading your characters. You can level them, utilizing slimes. These are actually kind of difficult to obtain. The only time I've actually successfully obtained any is when I've been doing the main story missions. You're capable of feeding your characters food, and I'll touch on that in just a little bit. You can equip your characters with gear. You can upgrade the gear. I don't really feel like I need to delve deeply into upgrading your gear, refining your gear. It's like every other gacha game. You can +9 them. Once they get to +9, you can then upgrade them to a new tier of gear, and you can make them progressively more powerful, etc., etc. Every character has their own skills, their own ultimate abilities, and their own unique non-combat skills. They also have unique costumes. I'll touch on costumes in just a moment. Unique combat skills, or unique out-of-combat skills, are unique to different characters. As an example, you have the ability to search. This detects unique objects out in the field. You can cook. Ustia is, I think, my only cook right now. Cooking is actually very important because it allows for you to heal while out in the world, questing, pursuing the story. You're also capable of using said food in combat. There are characters that allow you to revive. She is my only reviver, so it's important not to let her die. There's gear crafting. Certain characters allow for you to craft gear of varying levels. There is the option of creating an actual teleportation circle. So that allows for you to teleport wherever you are to wherever you want to go, as long as you've unlocked that teleportation circle there. And then we have alchemy, which allows for us to craft materials for us to use to craft other sets of gear, other items that are important. Now, costumes are incredibly interesting because they allow for you to not only change the physical appearance of your character, but also the essentially the class archetype as well, and the unique abilities that that class archetype would bring. As an example, her in this schoolgirl outfit allows for you to increase everyone's attack by 25%, everyone's magical attack by 25%, and to place a regen on all your party members for 5 turns. Her other outfit is a pure damage ability that deals direct damage and then decreases their magical resistance by 50% for 4 turns. One is a buff and a regen, the other is a pure damage ability, which means your character goes from a healer to a DPS or vice versa, because this is her default outfit and this is actually one of her additional outfits. So you can fine-tune your party based off of who they are and what they can contribute to your group, and you can fine-tune your party by what you can change them into. This is something that I've actually never seen done in any other gacha game before. Now, granted, I haven't seen or played too many gacha games at present, and I will play more as we continue to move into the channel's life, but at present, this is something that I feel is incredibly unique and I wish more games would do. Now, speaking of the characters, there are quite a few of them at present. 4-star characters, 5-star characters, even 3-star characters. I actually did a video on this channel going over the various different outfits. There are a lot of absolutely incredible outfits, more for the 5-star characters, admittedly. So I urge you to, if you want to see more of these outfits, go ahead, check that video out. I'll include a link to it in the end card and in the description and in the pinned comment as well. But let me tell you, the costumes are actually incredible. The game is very narrative driven. It is very story driven. You move through the game at roughly the speed that you'd move through your average JRPG. And in between story segments, you encounter out in the overworld a variety of different enemies. These enemies you engage by walking into, and at times when they walk directly into you. Combat itself is turn-based. Your characters have elemental affinities that will provide you with beneficial advantages over your enemy. As an example here, these are fire-type enemies, so they are weak against water, but they are good against wind. Thankfully, I don't have any wind elementals. I have a water, a dark, a light, a fire, and another dark, I believe. Admittedly, I don't really have much of the upper hand here, but at the same time, I have leveled my characters quite a bit, so I don't feel like I necessarily need to have too large of a gap in terms of level over the enemies. Now, you move your character around a 3x4 grid. Now, your character will attack enemies according to the ability you select and the placement of the hero. So if I place her on the right, Celia on the right, she will attack these three here because it hits the square in the center. So it would hit the three around here, but there are no enemies here. So if I place her in the middle here, it will hit all of these. Well, I mean, I don't really need to explain this. So she has a complete line ability. So she'll hit the three targets that are directly in front of her. She can do horizontal slashes or vertical slashes. He can actually do diagonal slashes. And as we saw earlier, you can have her either do DPS or heal. I currently have her set to a DPS, but typically I have her as a healer. But I mean, like right now, since this is utilizing the auto hunt feature, it's unnecessary for me to have her heal. Now, when you have your formation set up, your abilities selected, I'll move her there because I feel like UC is gonna one-shot the enemies there. You then start the battle, and your characters just fuck shit up. And there you have it. That's a combat. Now, I will admit here, the combat does get very difficult. Very freaking difficult. I'm gonna include a clip here showcasing exactly how difficult it has been for me.
Yeah. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Huh? Huh?
I've encountered one difficult boss per chapter. That's the final boss of each chapter that has been so overwhelmingly difficult that I have had to at times completely reset. I've had to take a break, try and theory craft how exactly I'm going to combat the boss, because utilizing auto attack is not beneficial, trust me, against those kinds of bosses. There is more to the game than story. There's more to the game than combat. There are a number of different zones that lead you to the final encounter of each area. There are lots of different unique areas for you to actively explore. There are lots of treasure chests you can encounter. These treasure chests hold premium currency. They hold pieces of gear. Like, there are so many unique aspects of this game that are just so contrastingly different to the kinds of gacha games that I have played. Like Punishing Gray Raven, Azure Lane, Honkai Impact. Like, these are all games that essentially have you play in instanced areas and then just engage a group of enemies in battle, and that's it. That is all you do. There's no real control over your character, over where you're going and what you're exploring. They're just kind of battles, consecutive battles, and that is it. There's something uniquely enjoyable and fulfilling, I think, about being able to freely control your character, run around, explore, seek out new gear, new weapons, new items, treasures, fight enemies out in the world, actually solve puzzles, maneuver around obstacles. Like, this game feels like an actual JRPG, like a JRPG that I played in my childhood. I mean, yes, this has gacha elements in it, but so many of the 5-star characters have actually obtained completely free. I wouldn't have had to have even spent a single cent to obtain who I've obtained. And I think that is a positive that I can't say I've really had, that I've really been able to say or claim in other games. Typically, when you play gacha games, you need to try and attempt to roll for the best possible character from gacha. But in this, you're given so many options, so many incredible looking characters, that it almost feels pointless to even attempt to roll for the gacha. The gacha is just an additive, it's just a bonus. You can do it to attempt to obtain characters after the fact. You're gonna have a fully upgraded, incredibly powerful cast of characters regardless of what you do. Now, talking about the gacha, you can roll for characters and you can roll for weapons. Characters take the form of costumes, and it looks like the banner character, the limited banner character, so in this instance, Justia, has a 1.5% chance of obtaining. You have a 3% chance of obtaining a 5-star character, a 14% chance of obtaining a 4-star character, and an 83% chance of obtaining a 3-star character. There is a pity system. You can exchange points at 200 for the costume of your choice. Unfortunately, that is a very hard pity. Like Genshin, Honkai, Star Rail both have, I think, 50-50 at 90 and then 100% guarantee at 180. Punishing Gray Raven, I think, has 100% guarantee at like 60 or something. So yeah, the gacha rates aren't fantastic. If I'm being honest, the gacha rates are actually kind of shit. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like the gacha isn't really a vital part of the game and kind of seems entirely unnecessary. I'm only going to utilize the gacha with the currency that I am given, because I don't feel obligated to actually spend anything on the game, since I'm given so much in-game with absolutely no investment, no financial investment whatsoever. Now, everything in this game is the picture of quality. I arguably have not played a game that feels as good quality as this game does in a while. This game just excels at so many different areas. The unique environments, the actual mechanics that are present in dungeons, the incredible character models, the fully voiced over cutscenes, the story itself, the narrative. the turn-based combat and the difficulty of the combat. So many absolutely incredible. Oh, hey, did I think I've... All right, yeah, cool. But like, see what I mean? I just got this character and at the same time just obtained the ability to detect traps, because there are actually traps out in the world, like out in these dungeons, these unique instances. It is just, there are so many unique features that are present that just aren't present elsewhere. Like, I don't know, I feel like at this juncture, I'm pretty much just gonna be repeating myself. This game is a ton of fun. I cannot express in words enough how much fun I have been having. I mean, I feel like this would be a massive missed opportunity if you don't play it. I never really invested much time into Brown Dust 1 or Brave 9 or whatever the previous version of this was called. I think I played it for maybe an hour or two back on my older MMO channel, my MMO by mobile channel that I've since abandoned for this channel. But I didn't really enjoy it. This game, on the contrary, I thoroughly enjoy. Now, if Brown Dust 2 isn't your kind of game, absolutely no problem. Thank you for interrupting my outro. I appreciate that, Sherazad. Now, if Brown Dust 2 isn't your kind of gacha, no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you.